Okay, hello, subscribers, patrons, fans, followers, and supporters. This is Johnston Blackhorse, and I welcome you to. I'm hoping like the final installation of my whole drawing process series. That way, I can just focus on just cranking out all this artwork because right now, uh, I just find it difficult to just get around to recording myself and making this somewhat of a performance piece. But anyway, I was hoping to get this done earlier in the day, and right now it's 8:36 p.m. on a Sunday, and I was hoping to get it done after I came back from lunch, and I went to Smash Burger, had a regular Smash Burger, and had an addition of a fried egg put in there, and I also had those Brussels sprouts, the fried Brussels sprouts I was uh, talking about, and it was freaking delicious. It was so good. It just tasted so yummy in my mouth. It was just my goodness. It's just I can't wait to go back again. But yeah, it was great. And after I came back from that lunch, I just felt pretty lethargic because me not eating all that much, I've had my stomach shrink on me, so I have a very dainty, petite stomach right now. So just the simple act of just eating a regular sized burger and that side of fried Brussels sprouts was enough to just fill my stomach up, and I just felt so full and I felt so lethargic that I just pretty much came back, put on some Netflix, and unintentionally took a nap because I felt like lying down. And yeah, I just kind of fell asleep, and then after I woke up, it was mid afternoon, early evening, and I decided to fry up some hot dogs for myself. Ate those, and it made me feel even more lethargic. So just had to take a break and walk it off. So I walked around the block a few times and came back and just killed some time watching some YouTube videos and just beating around the bush trying to get around to finishing these. But anyway, yeah, let's get this done. Let's finish this up. So what I'm going to be doing in this final video is just show how I go about my shading, and to do that, like I just have my regular trusty #2 pencil here that I've been utilizing throughout a lot of my videos that require just a plain pencil. And I also have some of these smudge sticks, these blenders, and I use these to blend like a lot of the soft tones, or just use them to just blend the pencil in general. But anyway, let me go ahead and just pull up some reference of this character just so I know what type of shading to utilize on what part of this character. I can more or less pretty much recall it off the top of my head, but it's sometimes I just like having the reference there if I'm drawing a specific character in order to just make sure I'm shading it properly. Shoot. Where is my reference folder? There it is.
There it is. I found it. Pulling up some reference now.
All right. Got the reference up. Gonna put on some music and then get to it. So I'm just gonna try to power on through all of these. So to begin with, I'm just gonna lay down like a very uniform first layer of pencil, and I just throwing it down. And I'm going to avoid shading like the areas that are either light in color or white, such as the white of the eyes or the muzzle here of this character. The muzzle on this character, like this area here, like the nose and the cheek area, is white color on this character, and on other characters it's like a kind of a flesh color. But depending on the tone and the shade, like I'll usually avoid like putting down a solid layer. Hmm. Oh shoot! I just noticed an inking mistake. That
Ah, shucks.
just inking the details on the bikini bottoms here. Just making sure I get these little straps in there because sometimes when I color the bikini tops and the bikini bottoms, like the trim, I'll shade a little differently compared to the rest of the fabric that the swimsuit is colored. So yeah, there we go. And go ahead and shade all of that in. And the tail, I believe, is fluffy white, but just to make sure, gonna pull up some reference that illustrates the tail. No, the tail isn't white. And that's why when you're drawing specific characters, it's good to have a little bit of reference off to the side. So this means that some of the shading I've done in previous auctions may have been incorrect, but uh, you learn from your mistakes. Now, some of you may notice that I didn't draw the gloves on this character, mostly because it's somewhat of an artistic choice, just to coincide with the the particular outfit that this character is wearing, that I drew her wearing in this piece, and just it's kind of like a choice of like a preference, or just a decision, because who wears gloves at the beach or wears gloves with a swimsuit? Something that you don't really see often if it does happen. So decided to draw her sans gloves. So I'm trying to like just make sure like the shading or the tone is uniform throughout for right now. And now that we have all that, so I'm going to go ahead and like start shading some of the darker tones, such as these patterns on her face and her ears. Just getting there, make them a little bit darker. Gotta get swifty in here. Oh yeah, the eyes, the irises. Of course, the irises. Well, for those of you who are curious as to what I'm listening to, if you can hear it, I'm listening to the Swiftiest Rick and Morty rap, produced by YouTuber None Like Joshua, collabing with Game Boy Jones. And usually when I have some spare time, which is a lot of the time, I'll look up at other um, artists on YouTube and just see what they're up to, and it's like pretty cool to um, enjoy like the free reign of art that's available on the YouTube platform. And often, like, I'll subscribe to a lot of these other artists and animators just to, you know, I guess up their numbers. Ah, sweet, 27. Sorry. Oh shoot. Now I guess I gotta explain that. um, Often I see like the number 27 popping up very frequently in recent years. And I'm sorry I'm going off on a little tangent here, but I feel like I got to explain myself a little bit. And people might view it as superstitious nonsense or whatever, but like for me, like it does contain some meaning for myself because when I was in prison, just like having to come to terms with like all the bullshittery that had led to me coming to prison, and just especially the second time around where I was re-imprisoned for uh, possession of pornography, but the pornography I possessed was pornography I myself drew, and it's just asinine because I was given the go ahead to drop pornography for financial purposes, but then when it came down to it, they manipulated the situation just in order to re-imprison me again. So it's just a real clusterfuck. So while I was in prison, like I hit a pretty low point again, and just like being in prison in and of itself, you just feel really negative because it's just a really harsh negative environment. And all around just very hopeless. I mean, there's no room for hope in prison at all, like whatsoever. And so when you're in that state of mind and in that environment, you begin thinking about some very, very negative things. Um, and just I'll just say that your mind goes to some very dark places, and my mind started going to places where I didn't want to just dwell in. So I began to pray, and this is where I began to like have like a very like personal relationship with my guardian angel. And I talk about my guardian angel in a previous video, and if you look that up, you'll see like why I have such a connection with my guardian angel. And I would pray to her, and like if you uh, pray to your guardian angel, like I believe it runs on a system to where like she'll take it up the ladder and like take your request up the ladder and just see what she can do in granting some of the prayers or answering some of these prayers. And so whenever there was like a time where I needed like a specific answer for something, I would pray to her, and then like lo and behold, shortly thereafter, I would get that answer or get some sort of um, a result that would ease my suffering in a sense. And during one of my very dark points in this whole prison process, like I asked for a sign that would let me know that things are going to be okay, that things are going to be better, that things are changing. And I didn't know what sign that I wanted to see, so I asked like, okay, if things are going to be okay, if things are changing, or if things are better, just like give me a sign that show me the number 27, because 27 is like the day of my birth, June 27th. And I said that prayer. I made that request of her, of my guardian angel, and shortly thereafter, like maybe within like I'd say a few weeks, I began seeing the number 27 everywhere. Now, people may just chalk that up to like the law of averages and whatnot. It's like if you begin focusing on a particular number, then lo and behold, you will begin like seeing that number everywhere. But for myself, like I began seeing that number just pop up in just like random situations where in which like that number just never really popped up before. Either random situations or just instances where I just couldn't ignore it. It'd be right there in my face, like the number 27. And sometimes when I'm just like shut myself in my apartment and I have no outside stimuli, like I'll get this sense to just like check the time or something, and when I do, like it'll be the 27th minute in that hour. And I can't help myself but just point out, like whenever I see the numbers, like, oh hey, it's the number 27, like things are going to be okay, things are changing, like things are going to be just fine, things are looking up. So that's why like I just saw that number like just a moment ago, and I had to point out like, hey, number 27, sweet. So I just take it as a sign that things are going to be okay. And when I take that to heart, like it just dispels like either some of the pensive feelings that I feel like all the time about my situation, and just puts me at ease, and it gives me the sense that my guardian angel is always going to be there, just like just she's just looking out for me, and she's a she's a doll, you know. She's just a really sweet individual, and everything that I learned about her through that Ouija board session is just confirmed that like, you know, there is a higher purpose, there is a form of a higher power in a sense, and we just got to put faith in our, I guess, our existence, our universe, and as long as we have faith that things will be good and that we're grateful for what we have, things are going to be okay. So after I began putting my faith in that, I get the sense that things are changing. Although, like some of the prayers that I asked for, like are somewhat impossible, were somewhat impossible at the time. But I do get the sense that the change that I've been asking for this whole time is beginning to take shape. It's all coming to fruition, and it's only a matter of time now before everything is going to make sense. So yeah. Anyway, before I went off on that tangent, I was talking about subscribing to other YouTubers, and like I'm just astounded by the amount of like artistry that's out there that's available. And before going to prison, like I there wasn't much of a presence, I would say, is like some of the content that would get produced. Like, yeah, there were like independent artists and stuff, but I'm just astounded by like the abundance of animators that have just exploded on the scene within recent years while I've been away. And I get the feeling like, oh, it's my peoples. But then at the same time, I'm just afraid of associating with them because I have this, like I said, this pensive fear that like they're not going to want to associate with me because of who I am and what my label is, and so I just stick to being introverted and just you know what I'll just do what I do and make awesome art. And if people want to work with me in the end, you know, like that'll be awesome. That'll be great. I wouldn't mind that because right now, like I feel that me having to bear this charge and bear this burden, bear this stigma, like no one will hire me professionally, so I just got to make my own way. And I'm okay with that right now because I just have so much freedom to just draw and animate what I want to draw and animate. And I'm hoping to like expound on that more because next month is going to be the last month I'm taking commissions for the time being because I want to focus more on just releasing um, some animations, and to do that I got to focus more on creating animated content. And once I do that, I'm hoping that I'll be able to earn enough from my uh, patrons to save up enough to get myself something similar, either a Cintiq, a Wacom Cintiq, or something similar, because I do believe that that would boost my productivity for reasons that I stated before in my previous video. Because I just feel like my creative process would be more streamlined. Because I have handled or utilized a Cintiq before, that particular type of drawing tablet, as opposed to what you see in this video. Because, like I said, it's just like half artistry and half guesswork. Because you're not looking at what you're actually drawing. It's like you're looking at a screen while your hand is just drawing on like this different platform, and it's partial artistry, but also part guesswork. Because when you have a Cintiq, you can actually just like look at the display and draw on the display and see what it is you're drawing and know like where your line is going. And when I had a Cintiq, like oh man, it was a dream. It was so smooth, and like the protect the productivity was just astounding. I was just able to whip out sketches like right there on the digital plane in about an instant. It was grand. It was just like drawing on paper. And if you've all been paying attention, you see how quickly I can draw on paper. But yeah, I feel like in releasing digital content, being able to just draw with a tablet like such as a Cintiq would help immensely with productivity and everything like that. Okay, so we got our character all shaded and everything, so it's time to go in with our little blending stick, our little smudge stick, and just smooth it all out. And as you do so, you'll see that it'll get darker. But I think that's mostly because like I utilize like this smudge stick a lot, so there's already like a lot of built up graphite on the tip. Oftentimes, like when I need to lightly shade a particular area, like I won't even go with the pencil at first. I'll just go straight with the smudge stick and just smudge in some light tones. What am I listening to? There's just like a lot of growly speaking right now. It says most brutal dubstep drop. We'll see about that. Oh shit, they just dropped it. Oh no, is it broken? Oh, somebody check to see if it's broken. I'm trying to think of some stupid pun right now. um, Something along the lines as somebody better make another grocery run because somebody keeps dropping the beats. I don't know. It sounds so lame. There's got to be something that goes something better. I can think of something better. Come on. I can't I can't think right now. I'm too focused on this shading. Burp. Oh, for those of you who are wondering what I'm drinking a Bud Light. Uh, Usually I'm partial to shock tops or the spiced clamato drinks, cheladas. I really enjoy those, but right now I'm operating on a budget. Cause I am broke, son. Until some of these donations and Patreon comes in. But not to worry, I already withdrew the amount that is required on my portion to pay rent. So as far as rent goes, I'm covered. And I do have a $20 donation that's coming in, and I'm going to utilize that to buy myself a new set of Statler pens. And I really appreciate it to the Patreon or the patron who was willing to donate those funds to my GoFundMe account, with which I'm going to continue inking like a madman, the madman that I am.
Cause I'm knuckin' futz.
I also apologize for the rapid succession in which I've been releasing these videos. I know that it might come across as annoying for some of my patrons because they keep getting notified of my updates. But rest assured, this is going to be the last video for this drawing process series. So after I illustrate how I go about making some of the artwork that I do make, like that'll be it for this small series of videos, and we'll be back to our regularly scheduled program of how to arts and sketchbook tours. Also, we'll be releasing Let's Draws on I guess a random basis for now. Yes, I'll do it when I get the time or something, because I think I'm good on suggestions for now, because I still got I think a list of 3 more characters to do from that German cartoon. What was it called? Die Schule or Die Schule. Um, what was that name? Die Schule. Die Schule der kleinen Vampir. Die Schule der kleinen Vampir. Yeah, so I still got like a few more characters to do for those Let's Draws, and I'll be doing those Let's Draws in due time, because right now I'm still working on my first animated YouTube video. I know I keep alluding to that, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you are curious as to the process, and I've been debating on whether or not to release what I have for my Sketch Dump Fridays, as in essence it is like a sketched animation, because it's incomplete, but I just don't want to like spoil the surprise, but at the same time I don't want it to suffer from too much hype. It's so conflicting. Like, what do I do? Do I release like a rough animation of it just to gauge the audience reaction, or do I hold on to what I have now and surprise everybody? But at the same time, if I hype it up too much, it's just gonna fall flat. So I guess keep your expectations low. It's not all that fancy. It's not all that great. I am just having a hard time just finding the time to get around to completing it. So that's why it's taking me longer than expected. And of course, like as I stated before, it is somewhat of an ambitious project. Mostly because there is a lot of dialogue in it, and me, I'm I'm just barely getting back into my animation. Um, um, I just barely put on my animation hat on again. So it's a medium that I love that I'm just barely getting back into. So yeah, just bear with me, please. Bear with me a little while longer. I've also been thinking about doing some like cooking videos because during my time in prison, I've learned a few tricks and um, cooking um, recipes from prison cuisine. Now that's a weird term, like prison cuisine. But you'll it's weird what you can actually like some of the decent meals you can cook in a prison cell, and with all these documentary TV shows delving into prison life and the prison lifestyle, like I'm surprised that they don't touch too much on the aspect of prison cuisine, like what do inmates cook and how do they go about preparing their meals when not in the chow hall, like when they only have commissary items to utilize. And maybe I'll do like a few animated videos to illustrate my experience in learning some of that. Of course, I don't have like any hands-on learning because I was I was goody two shoes in prison, you know, because like yes, I was drawing porn secretly on the side, but at the same time, you know, I didn't want to get caught with some of the contraband that they utilize in order to cook some of these prison meals. Whoops.
Oops.
Do 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 do. Oh man, I am so out of tune or so out of touch with pop culture references nowadays just because so much. I've been away for like only a few years, but I feel like there's just so much that I missed out on. I feel like I've missed out on a generation of video games and just a generation of YouTube content, and it's taken me a while to just catch up. And like, I'm not even caught up with a lot of the memes that they have out nowadays. And right now, I'm like listening to a song, a rap that's coming from a game titled Undertale, and it seems pretty interesting, but it is just way over my head. I would delve more into it, but at the same time, you know, I'm so wrapped up in my day to day life, just drawing for the money, drawing hard for the money. Oh, whoops! I think there's a detail in here I forgot to shade. Oh, you can't really tell anyway, but it was her nose. It was her nose. Oh, shoot. Right now, I was thinking that I'm grateful to be able to make these videos because it gives me the sense of like a sense of community and um, just being able to socialize in a sense. Of course, like with YouTube videos, the socializing is somewhat of a one-way street, but then at the same time, like I do appreciate some of the comments that I receive, and right now I'm pretty comfortable with that type of socializing because I feel like I just can't relate to a lot of the people around me. With my sister, that was great, and with my family, like that would be even better. But right now, we're just so restricted from seeing each other. Thanks, frickin' government, you fucking d-bags. You all know, like my opinion on this whole overbearing, ridiculous, all these overbearing, ridiculous restrictions I have to deal with. So I don't want to delve into it even more. But like my ability to socialize has been just, for lack of a better term, retarded by the government's just overbearing rules and restrictions. And pardon me, I had to take a sip. And besides that, it's like people who want to associate with me are unable to because they're afraid of breaking the many rules that I have to abide by. And there are um, a couple of guys, and like my roommate included, who still want to hang out with me and such, but still want to do like regular doodly things. And one of those things that they want to do as somewhat of a celebration of my return is just take me to a strip club. But one of my regulations is that I can't uh, patronize any establishment that deals in adult-oriented material, such as adult bookstores or places that maintainly sell pornography, and that also includes strip clubs. And it sucks simply because they're afraid that any sexual stimulation may result in my wanting to, I don't know, rape people, but that's just an extreme supposition that doesn't bear any merit. So, that being the case, like there are some associates of mine that wanted to hang out with me, but because I have so many restrictions, they they don't hang out with me because they're afraid of inadvertently breaking some of my rules. So they just don't hang out with me, and that sucks. And like I said, like well, as my sex offender treatment therapist tried to say to me or bring up the argument, oh, well, you're being treated as like you're uh, what was it? You're more is expected of you, so you're being held to a higher standard, and you should think of that as somewhat of a something like was it treat it as something as a positive, like you're being held to a higher standard, and you got to see that as a positive way. It's like no, I can't see it that way. I see it for what it really is that I'm being treated as a secondary class citizen because there are certain liberties and freedoms that I'm being negated simply because there is a illogical fear that any sexual stimulus or stimuli will result in me like just causing harm not only to myself but to other people. And that's just ridiculous. I mean, there is no justification for that supposition, and it's just based on an erroneous fear, which doesn't need to be there. And so, as a secondary class citizen, like people are afraid of hanging out with me because they don't want to break one of my rules inadvertently and cause me to go to prison again. It sucks. So, yeah, thanks a lot, government. Thanks a lot, you fucking injustice system. Freaking D-bags. My judge is an ass and my prosecutor's a fucking cunt. Sorry, I shouldn't swear so much, but sometimes when you feel passionate about a thing or a certain topic, I believe it does warrant a bit of swearing or vulgarity or the use of expletives. And I feel that my use of expletives is justified simply because of the whole unconstitutional aspects that I have to suffer on a daily basis based on meritless suppositions and conjecture. So yeah, the whole thing just fucking sucks. I think I'm swearing more just because I'm slightly inebriated. And for those who take offense to that, I do apologize. I try to keep the swearing to a minimum. Some of you might think that that's a little weird because me being the artists Natus underscore 01 and Bhawk and Rule 34 Rocks, I have drawn very vulgar material and have drawn like very raunchy scenarios. And for me to be just this individual who puts on airs of propriety is just a whole what's the word? Just the I guess the juxtaposition of it is like, how can you have an artist who like draws all this vulgar content that's just so obscene and raunchy and raw, and it's just like um, offensive on so many levels, but at the same time, his real life demeanor is such that he seems like a very nice and polite individual. So yeah, I do admit that it's somewhat weird of me to do that because like when I draw something, it's all fantasy. Hold on, I just want to make sure that I'm utilizing my vocabulary properly. Yeah, juxtaposition. The fact of two things being seen or placed close together with contrasting effect. I would have checked my dictionary, but it's under a lot of stuff, and I don't really want to go through the trouble of trying to dig it out. Anyway, before I went on this like long tangent and rant, I just wanted to express my appreciation for all those people who do reach out, who do comment, and who do associate with me on various messaging formats. And I do feel like it does give me that sense of community, that sense of connectivity, and that sense of socializing that I feel I am very lacking at the moment, simply due to the fact of all the restrictions that I am under and have to face on a day-to-day basis. So to those who do reach out, I really do appreciate you, and like you guys are awesome because you make me feel like I'm not so alone. And believe me, like it's a lot. It's a lot more than I would have expected. So thank you guys for that, you guys and gals, because I'm aware that there are female fans out there, and like I really do appreciate the fact that there are ladies who do appreciate my art, and I never realized how much my art has I guess I guess helped you on somewhat of a personal level in a sense, and I'm glad that my art has been able to be beneficial in a way for some of you people, not only in like getting you through um, your sexuality, but like helping you come to terms with like aspects of yourself that you may have been struggling with. And I believe there are a lot more of us out there than we want to admit. But at the same time, we're just afraid of that persecution, the persecution that I've had to endure this whole time. But in facing that persecution, there was just like a lot of self discovery. And I know a lot of people have come to terms with that self discovery, but at the same time, they choose to remain in the closet for fear of the stigma. And it's the stigma through all my efforts that I'm attempting to dispel just to make things a lot better for us and as a community. Just hope we can begin to openly socialize with each other without fear of ridicule or persecution. And that's one of the things that I aim to achieve within my lifetime. Even though, like my sex offender therapist says that'll never be the case, and I have to disagree because within the last few years there has been like advancements toward acceptance, toward a sense of open-mindedness and tolerance, because when you look at the actuality of how things are, it's the way things are at the moment. We like I've ranted and raved about in so many previous videos, is that a lot of the persecution and suffrage of people who have to go through prison, like their main crime is just based on supposition, the potential to cause harm. And like I've said time and time again, you can't convict someone just based on potential alone, because what that is the preemptive incarceration of a crime not committed. Let's see. Someone was sent me a message, I think earlier in the day. Oh, this guy's asking how my sister is doing. I think I'll respond to him after I'm done with all this. But for all of those people who are curious as to how my sister is doing, she's doing okay. She, as I explained earlier in previous videos, but for those of you who are just tuning in, my sister got rehired to the company that she used to work for in Tempe, Arizona, and that company was it was a factory that manufactured die-cast aluminum um, parts for airplanes. Now, what that is that die-cast molding is that they have like these huge like pellets of aluminum, and they superheat them and push them through these die-cast molds in order to make all uh, these machine parts for these jet airplanes, usually for commercial liners and such. So she got rehired at that position, and they're glad to have her back because she was one of the only people who was capable of doing the job that they hired her back for. Hold on, I gotta get my other beer. I'll be back in a few minutes. Just wait for me. Just wait. I'll continue. Okay, I'm back. I'm back with my other tall boy. Did you miss me? I know you did. Oh, that's sweet. So, like I said, she got rehired, and the turnover rate there is just crazy, as I understand, because people that work there they can't take the heat, literally, because like I said, they have to superheat these aluminum, these giant aluminum pellets in order to push them through the die-cast molds. And a lot of it's not just die-cast molding, but they also have like these aluminum shoot. I can't remember the terminology, but they have like sheets of aluminum in which they punch out like a lot of the the parts that they need to, kind of like a, I guess how I can equate it is like a cookie cutter press. And from what I understand, it's like the factory itself, since they have to operate at such a high temperature, it's just the heat is intense. And not only is does the heat come from the factory itself, but the factory is based in Tempe, Arizona, which is a pretty hot environment. So yeah, she's got her job back there, and right now she's still currently on like the employment probation period. So once she clears that, they'll be bumping up her pay back to the amount that she was earning before she had to quit her job in order to come out here and help me. So so yeah, she's doing good. She's working really hard, and she's almost through with her employment probation, and she'll be earning a very decent income, and it's a lot better than the minimum wage she was earning out here over at Smart and Final. So so yeah, she's doing good, and I'm pretty sure she thinks about you guys from time to time, for like all the people who had left us positive comments and who had cheered us on and wished us all the best. Like she she appreciates that, and like I wouldn't doubt that she'd if she had the time that she'd leave a comment every now and then and just show her appreciation for all of your kind words and your donations and your patronage, your subscribers, and just yeah, she loves all you guys, and we both thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Ah, it's this violin guy again. He's pretty good, but I want to listen to some like actual music which, not to say that he's what he's doing isn't music. I just want to listen to some full songs and whatever. Aw, here's a nice piece. I haven't heard this for a while. I'm going to go ahead and dock in these straps a little bit. Whoops, this is the wrong pencil. I should really put some, or like give her a shadow indicating that she is sitting down on a surface or something. Otherwise, she looks like she's just floating in midair. Sometimes I'm lazy and I don't put shadows where they would be appropriate. And I have gotten the comments every now and then that they're just like kind of floating. They're just floating there, and then when that's pointed out to me, it's like, oh, shit. It does look like they're just floating there. And I'll draw shadows on the next one. There we go. Two more to go. Shoot, am I going to make this like a 2-hour video? I guess. I guess it's going to be a 2-hour video. I don't know. Is that going to really be an issue? I'm trying to pull up the... I accidentally closed both of those windows. I was trying to pull up reference for Sticks the Badger. Okay, I got the reference. So let's get this done. Right now I'm just kind of going to put the uniform shading, but then avoid the areas in which they are either white or just a light skin tone color. So the light areas that I will avoid are, of course, the whites of her eyes, her muzzle, and the inner parts of her ear. Ah, nuts. Is there something under here? No. What is that? I don't know what that is. Just a flower blemish in the paper. I guess I must have dropped something on it or got some gunk on it earlier. What? This is too upbeat. Oh, sweet. I'm gonna skip to the next video. And I'm gonna turn it up. Because this is my jam. Sorry, I'm slightly inebriated. 25 years and my life is still trying to get up that great big hill of hope for a destination. Realized quickly when I knew I should. I don't know the rest of this song. Ugh. So I cry sometimes when I'm lying in bed just to get it all out what's in my head, and I'm feeling a little peculiar. And so I wake in the morning and I stand outside and I take a deep breath and I get real high and I scream to the top of my lungs, what's going on? And I said, hey, yeah, 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 hey, yeah, yeah. I said, hey, what's going on? Sorry, my singing's probably terrible. I do apologize. What's going on? Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. No, I will not stop. Fuck you. Oh my God, do I cry? No, wait. I messed up the lyrics. Maybe I should stop. And I pray. Oh my God, do I pray? I pray every single day for revolution. Cry sometimes when I'm lying in bed just to get it all out what's in my head, and I'm feeling a little peculiar. So I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and I get real high and I scream to the top of my lungs, what's going on? Oh, shit. Okay, I'll stop. Fine. Jeez. I'd like to go to a karaoke bar, but some of the karaoke bars I know require ID. But right now, since I lost my ID, the only form of ID or identification I have is the old expired identification that that's in my wallet. I'd like to get a new one, but right now I don't really have the funds, and I seem to not have my birth certificate and social security card and other form important documents that I require in order to get another identification. Because when my ex moved out, in her haste, I believe she might have taken my birth certificate, my certificate of Indian blood, and some of my other important legal documents that I require. So what's the phrase? How's that saying go? I'm stuck like Chuck or something? Oh my god! No! This piece is pretty much garbage. I'm pretty sure, like, for other people who have been watching and following along have noticed, but I inadvertently gave her Cream the rabbit's tail when that's not her tail. Shit! Oh, I'm gonna have to retrace and redraw this all over again, but I'm gonna do that without the camera. So this piece in particular is pretty much useless. I'm gonna have to just. Oh, damn it! Because I was looking at this piece, it's like, oh yeah, she has a tail. I better draw that in. Wait, I drew her tail in another piece. I don't think I drew it properly. And yeah, so this this video is going to be slightly shorter than I thought it was going to be. Crap! I feel like I can't really release this series of drawings yet until I fix that other piece. But right now, you know what? I guess I'll do it tomorrow. Damn it! Oh, I'm an idiot! Stupid. How can you be so stupid, stupid? Hey, don't call me stupid. I mean, this is all of our mistake. For you to call me stupid, you're calling yourself stupid. Don't point out the obvious, you freaking jerk. Oh, jeez. I can't believe I overlooked that. I'm pretty sure to all those fans of Stick the Badger out there who are watching me just saw me make that glaring mistake, and I just continued with these videos the whole way through, sketching it wrong, cleaning it up wrong, and then transferring it wrong. Oh my gosh. I'm an idiot. I'm a doofus. Like, how can I make a mistake like that and continue it like this whole way through? And here I had the reference and everything, and I just wasn't paying attention. I suck. I just suck. I suck. Oh. No, I guess I can't dwell on it. I mean, gotta learn from our mistakes, right? So I'll just retransfer it tomorrow, give her the appropriate tail, and then shade it, ink it and shade it, and be done with it. And then post this set of auctions after I make those adjustments. It's not like it'd be my first time being late with a Bhawk free auction set, because this set is like 2 weeks past due. But you know what? I'll give myself a pass. That's one of those fringe benefits that comes from being your own boss. I won't fire myself over this mix-up. But you know what? I'm gonna have to deduct your pay. Aw, gee, boss, really? Like, it was an honest mistake. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry, but that's just how it has to go. You know, it's a deduction in pay all around. Like, in reducing your pay, I also have to take a pay cut. Oh, geez, I'm sorry, boss. Like, I'll try harder next time. You know, like I'll learn from my mistakes, and I'll just move forward. Yes, please do. Like, you are a valuable asset to Johnston Blackhorse Incorporated. Because we are one and the same person, and I really don't want to fire you because honestly, I can't do so. Really? I mean, that sounds great. But please do try to, you know, make make less mistakes in the future. Be vigilant in your drawing and your in your actions when you refer to reference. Just pay more attention next time. Like, oh, all right, yeah, I'll do that, boss. No worries. Do do do. So moving on, I'll just finish shading this piece and be done with these series of videos and jump back on my little animation that I got going. Hmm. So I was looking for something else to listen to. Not that I have anything against that song. I just want something with a little more energy to it. That was just too mellow for my taste right now. I don't need mellow. I need something with impact, energy, something to hype me up. For those who are curious as to what I'm listening to, I am listening to Frog Leap Studios. It's a YouTube channel which does covers of a lot of songs and covers them in does metal covers of a lot of popular songs. It's a pretty interesting channel. If you haven't checked it out already, you should check it out. Again, that name is Frog Leap Studios, and they do metal covers of all your favorite songs. Hmm. Next. You know what? For future videos, I should just put on like a YouTuber music in the background, because in one of my recent videos, I think maybe last week, one of my videos got flagged for copywritten content, which isn't a big issue unless, of course, I want to monetize that video. Which, you know, I don't have enough subscribers to do so, to like make money off of my videos at the moment. So it's not really an issue. But in the future, if I want to monetize something like the copywritten music would be somewhat of a hurdle to contend with. So I'm wondering if I should just feature like YouTuber music in order to like somewhat feature them and not have to worry about copyright issues in the future. For those of you who are wondering what it is I'm doing with this eraser, after I had kind of smudged the entire piece, it's like some of the areas I felt were kind of dark, so I'm kind of um, putting in highlights, utilizing an eraser, just erasing some of the graphite, just to give it that much more depth in the piece and just to flesh it out a bit more, but also just to clean up some of the unintentional like dark smudges that come from uh, smudging all this pencil around. So after erasing a little bit, just going back in and just kind of like smoothing it out again right now. Sorry, this music might be a little bit too loud for you to just hear my explanation on what I'm doing. So again, what I'm doing is just utilizing the eraser just to put in some highlights, erasing some of the dark tones that I had smudged in with the smudge stick. I know I didn't do this in some of the previous drawings, but on this particular piece, I felt like I kind of smudged some of these areas a little too dark when they didn't need to be. Because the smudging process didn't come out as uniform as intended. Yeah, sometimes I'll use my finger to smudge. I should probably try to wrap this video up because after drinking one tall boy and getting almost halfway through with this one, I feel the call of nature. Burp. No, I don't need to hear a metal version of this. Pretty sure it's cool, but not something I want to listen to at the moment. Nuts. No.
Hi, everybody.
Hello. um, oh, fiddlesticks. Let's try this one. Huh. Let's see. Okay, that's pretty much good for now. And like I said, like I gotta I gotta redraw this. Oh, this piece that got screwed up just by one little detail because I wasn't paying attention. Oh, anyway, save that for tomorrow. So, um, this is the final video in this particular series, and I hope you enjoyed the whole little adventure throughout. If you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. If you want to be notified of more future videos when I release them, hit that subscribe button. And I also have a Patreon, so if you want to help support like the production creation of more of these videos and more art content from me, think about becoming a Patreon patron of mine. Like, you can check out my Patreon page. I got a lot of free content there. And if you like what you see, like just consider clicking on that become a patron button. And I have several like Patreon level tiers. First tier is $1, second tier is $5, third tier is, it's been a while since I referred to it. Let me check really quick.
Oh man, I am bad at this.
Third tier is $10. Of course, I should have known. I guessed that that's what it was, and I was right, but I had to make sure. Anyway, yeah. First tier comes with like the full resolution scans of some of the art that you see here, such as this. This is gonna be available as a full resolution scan to all first tier members. If you choose to get a second, go for the second tier. I have a bunch of raw like files for you to download, such as Photoshop files, After Effects files, and uh, Adobe Animate files. Right now, there aren't that many. I think there are more Photoshop files than any other files, but you can go ahead and download those files and see, you know, peel back the layers and see what goes into making some of the content that I do make. And also, you have full liberty to just change and manipulate things to in order to, you know, like add your own flair to it. And you can post it if you want, but if you do, like, please give credit where credit is due and link back to me. If you do, that'd be great, and I would appreciate it. If you don't, like, it's not a big deal. It's not like I'm gonna go and hunt you down if I find you doing that, because all of my art is more or less like up for you to do whatever. You can download all these like full length or full resolution files and like color them if you want to, and you don't have to ask me for permission or anything. Like I get that. I get that request from time and time again, but I'm just like making it known that you can take any of my artwork and color it as much as you want, and just as long as you like link back to me, and that's pretty much all you have to do. And if Patreon isn't your thing and you still want to help fund my efforts, I do have a GoFundMe account, and I'll also leave that link in the link description below. And if you want to check up more on my backstory, like read what's going on with me, like my adventure thus far, I also have an autobiographical blog, Johnston Blackhorse, the one and only .blogspot.com. And I'm also a member of DeviantArt for Affinity and Ink Bunny. So if you're a member of any of those sites and you want to follow me on them, those sites, you can do so, because I update those sites whenever I have more art to release. So yeah, uh, check all of that out. And if you have any suggestions or you want to make a comment, leave those comments in the section below, or reach out to me on any of the various websites that I will link in the description section. And let's see what else. I think that's about it. So thank you for watching this video. It's it's been a blast just showing you all like my process and everything. And rest assured that if if you found like the rapid succession of these videos somewhat annoying, like I do apologize, and we'll be going back to our regularly scheduled program after this is done. So I'm gonna just take these drawings. I might touch them up sometime tomorrow, but I also got to redraw that other piece as before, like I showed you before. Face palm. I'm face palming right now due to my error. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you had fun, and I guess I'll check you all later. Sweet.